Oh, hello.
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 And we were just practicing some magic for our show.
Yes, welcome to episode 12 of Pip and Paul. Hello.
Hello.
So here we are today, and the topic of our conversation today is going to be music, which is why we've got our piano in the background here.
We both think that music's a vital and really important part of the show.
We learnt that actually from the Kidology show. We had lots of people, when I did my children's competition, come up to us after and say how much they thought it was enhanced by the music. So we decided that was going to be something important for Pip and Paul as well.
Yeah, so in respect to the Kidology show, look back at episode, I'm going to say 6 or 7. I think 6 for that one.
Mm-hmm.
For the Kidology show, not many magicians have a continuous piece of music through with added sound effects on top. And the reason is because magicians mostly work on their own. It's really difficult to cue that sort of thing on your own without some very complex software and pocket setups with remote controls and everything. So because we're double act, we've got 4 hands, so we can do that sort of thing slightly easier amongst ourselves.
And it's used in the movies to great effect. If you go and see a movie, you probably don't realise it, but the music is actually shaping the mood and the feel of the film without you realising it.
Absolutely. And also it gives us the option of silence, which when used very well, can be really effective. So we've been researching some music. In fact, you've been researching a lot of music more than I have.
Yeah, and we've got some brand new royalty-free music that we're going to be using for this. It's music that's never been heard before. It's actually been written for a separate project that I'm involved in, where this music will actually be offered to magicians and to other people who need royalty-free music. There's loads of uses for it, for example, for magicians, show reels, as well as for performance, and also anyone who makes videos. Really, there's a big community of people who just, mums and dads at home who take videos of their families. So we've got that. That's something that's coming, but we've designed it so that you can use it in different ways. It's going to be a brand new product, and because I'm involved in that project, and Pip and Paul are involved because of me, we're going to use some of it. So
it's very good. One of the advantages is once you get a piece of music that you like, it's available to you in 10 second stab, 5 second stab, a minute, 2 minute, or 30, 60 seconds. So you could literally take a piece of music, and each of those is layered. So if you don't like the violin, you can just take the violin out. So it's really versatile. It means that we can work our music around the act, not the act around the music.
Which is important. A lot of magicians search for ages to find the perfect piece of music for their act, and mainly because they know what they want to do with the magic, and they need the music to fit it. Which is one legitimate way of going about it. We just feel it's better to let the magic lead the music, so that's the way we're doing it.
Yeah. So that's great that we have that resource available to us. And what it means is we can have a really sensible conversation about the light and shade, and the fast and slow, and the ebb and flow of our show, and how the music can fit into that. As I said, without any restrictions on that piece lasts 3 minutes and we can't cut that bit out there, etc, etc, etc. So having said that, we've got a really high energy opening, although I must say I watched the video of our rehearsal back and it's not high energy enough.
It will be.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It was only the first this was a video we put together. We sort of put the beginning together, ran it through and videoed it to get an idea of music and how we could bring the music into it. But we didn't have props, we didn't have a very big space, so it did lack energy, I agree. But it won't when we've got it all running properly.
And that's the advantage of being able to video these things and watch them back. So we've got a high energy opening going into, if you watched last week's episode, you saw, I watched it back.
You'll know everything.
Poor old you with the beat.
See, I got to edit last week. If you saw last week, you'll understand why it was an editing nightmare. If you haven't watched last week, then go watch it.
Yeah.
Episode 11. This is episode 12.
Is it? Okay,
so episode 11. Go watch it and you'll understand why I really disliked Paul when I was editing that one.
Yeah, sorry about that. My mouth ran away with me. So anyway, high energy opening. We're going into after setting up a few gags, we're going into a comedy bit. You've this morning found some, I think, really good music for that.
Yeah, from Music Squared.
In that library.
Yeah.
The problem is also we don't want to be generic. So, for instance, if we're doing, let's say, a mind reading piece, you can be really obvious and cliched with the type of music you use. And let's face it, mind readers have been using that sort of music since the 70s. You know what I mean? And so what we're also trying to do is just be a little bit more modern and cutting edge with it. I'm not saying redefine it. I'm just saying, not go for the obvious.
Bring it into the 21st century.
Yeah, not be so David Copperfield about it. Not that, well, David Copperfield's the wrong example, but not that that's a bad thing. It's just had its time. We want to be the voice of the young. Look at us. We want to be new and exciting. Huh?
I was fortunate enough to see David Copperfield's show this January, just gone. In Vegas. And he's one of these magicians who does keep with the times. All of the effects, all the illusions, all the music, everything is very modern in his show.
Oh, let's face it, the man's...
Oh, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And he's got a great team behind him, which is always good. And talking of stage shows, in actual fact, it would be interesting. I've actually got tickets to take my son to see Dynamo live on stage at the Hammersmith Apollo on Saturday. Now, Dynamo's primarily known as a close-up magician on the streets with his TV specials. So for me, and we won't be able to use some of the sort of feedback that I come back with on this, but for me it's going to be very interesting to see how he translates that onto a stage as big as the Hammersmith Apollo.
Well, the reviews have been amazing. I will only see it if, I'll only believe it when I see it, and I don't have tickets at the moment. Good on him. Good on him if he steps it up. But
it'd be useful for us as well, because we can look at what he's done on television, look at what he's doing in the stage, and go, right, okay, that's really cool. I like the way how he did that. I like the way he did that. And you never know, it might spark an idea from us, which will be great.
Well, any conversation's always good, good or bad. On the subject of music, we had our improv class yesterday.
I did not have a good night last night.
So last night's improv class was around improvising music. So when someone says sing a hoedown about wires or whatever it is,
which we had, that was one of the subjects.
Yeah,
that was one of your subjects.
It was actually, yeah. So can we just literally go with it with a song? And it was really well staged and processed, so that we started with just joking about with how improv works and the structure of it, and then with each game we got better and better and better until at the end most of us were improvising songs. Now I say most of us,
I was listening at that point.
Every step you were really, really good, and then you just stopped.
Yeah. My mind said to me, we at the end of all of our improv classes, we sit down and we say what we really liked and what we enjoyed about that night. And I sat down and I said that I always admired these people in a television show from a way back called Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is effectively an improv show. It was very, very good. And one of the games they played was called the Hoedown, where the four people who were involved in that episode stood up, someone was on the piano and they were playing, and each person had to then do a whole verse by themselves which rhymed about a subject that was given to them from the audience. And I always thought, that's impossible. How can they do that? It's just amazing. Then we went to see Showstoppers.
And Showstopper.
I'm so sorry, Showstopper. And that was a whole evening of people improvising musicals in the style of, on the subject of, in the character of.
There must have been 8-10 songs that night.
Just amazing.
Not only did they improvise it, they improvised it with harmonies and choreography and
it all kept to the storyline. It was just phenomenal. We've already spoken about this. But But I always found that to be a stumbling block for me. I'd never tried it, but in my head I always thought, I can't do that. It just can't. And I went to the improv class last night with this mindset, and I think that hampered me in some way. And you're right, I was okay at the beginning, and then everything fell apart.
I think you were really good until you stopped. So I have a private aim, and that is that there is an improv section. If this is your first video and you don't know, there is an improv section in our show.
Not a singing improv section.
We've talked about it previously, so go look at the previous videos for when we talk about that. It isn't currently a singing one. My aim is that it could be at one point. So I'm really lucky in that my parents drummed music into me from a really young age.
Like what you did there. Drummed music.
Yeah.
It's good. Clever.
So I'm not a great musician, but because of my parents and because of that upbringing, I'm very lucky in that I kind of think musically. So I can't play piano brilliantly, I can't play guitar brilliantly, I can't sing brilliantly, but what I am able to do is pick up chord sequences and things like that very easily. So I'm quite lucky in that if you say to me name a song, I can probably do a passable attempt at playing that on a guitar or a piano.
He's very good at it. He's being very modest, but
well,
he's very good at it.
If a guitarist saw me or a pianist saw me, they would know I'm not. But what I'm really good at is being able to make it look like I'm really good at it. So anyway,
it's all illusion.
It is. Do it with confidence.
Exactly.
So actually, that's quite. If we're doing Pip and Paul improv with music in, let's say, a year or 2 years' time, that I think that could be a massive differentiator for us.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we should aim for.
And in fact, the last, and I won't say too much here, but to put it on record, the last game that you played and that I listened to could be a nice way of doing that in the magic world.
Yes.
So there we go. That's on record now, so we can look back and remember that idea.
Yes, that's a good idea. Should we name it now so that we can remind ourselves?
No.
Okay. All right. What else is there to say about music? We should really be thinking about a theme for all of our music, and I don't necessarily mean in tune, but I just so that if anyone listens to the whole show, it's not a little bit of country and western, it's a little bit. We should be doing that. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to do that in time for the 20th. But I think for our larger show, we'll definitely be doing that, or I should say for our final show.
Yeah.
We have, as of today, how many days left? 15 days?
15 days till our first official job, our first official gig.
Which is kind of frightening, but I feel... Well, we went through all of our set list and we marked ourselves out of 10 and how prepared we are for it. And it came out about 6.8 average.
Yeah.
But we've got
15 days.
15 days, so we'll probably have, how many days rehearsal?
Well,
as many as we
at
can.
least one.
And this is it. So I come around today to Pip's house. We're going to be running through it now this afternoon, probably after lunch now.
Yeah.
We'll try and get this video out today. That's Thursday, hopefully tonight.
Yeah.
Apologies for missing last week. What's the excuse?
We don't have one.
Perfect. It's not because we don't love you, because we do. I think I love you a little bit more than Pip does, but that's just the nature.
It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, just
There's more of you to love, isn't there?
Oh. We need to do a shout out corner.
We do. Shout out corner.
Are you ready?
Oh, just before we do, no, okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, yes, go on, ready? Shout out corner.
We were going to go up.
I thought we were going to go down.
No, we're going to go up.
Oh, we need to sort this out. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll see if we can get a proper jingle done at some point by someone.
Okay.
Someone talented. We'll see if we can find someone.
If you know anyone talented, if there's anyone out there talented
who can do us a shout out corner jingle, get in touch.
Yeah, we'll do a logo, we'll do everything, and
that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
So shout out corner, my aunt Theo. Hello, Auntie Theo.
Hello, Auntie Theo.
Has been a great supporter of mine throughout my life. She's very theatrical. She's She's always there to support me. In fact, when I was younger, and actually still to date, she reports for our local newspaper. Although she does make sure that she's not reporting on one that she knows too many people in, because that's always tricky. And Paul knows her because of her reporting. So
yes, and I've always had a little bit of soft spot for Theo. She'll be watching this. I can't say too much.
She is my favourite aunt.
She's a lovely, easy. No, flirt is the wrong word, but you can have a nice laugh with Theo.
She's lovely.
Yeah, very, very fond of Theo. And if you get on a tram in Croydon,
oh yes,
it's Theo.
She is the voice of the tram.
The Croydon tram.
The female voice, not the male voice.
Yeah, I think they were that one.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Theo.
Hello, and thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support.
We appreciate your vote. Did we shout out Ben Langley last week? Or last time?
No, we didn't.
Wow, Ben Langley. We need to do a massive shout out to you. Ben has provided some really great structure, advice, and some really great comedy material that we're trying to see if it fits for us. But wow, Ben was really, really generous. So let me just tell you a little bit about Ben. I've worked with Ben in a production company. We've toured Ben's genius shows. He's written a list of shows called Ha Ha Hamlet, Ha Ha Hitler, Ha Ha Hood, Ha Ha Holmes, about Sherlock Holmes. These have toured around England. Ben has starred in them and written them and directed some of them. A real comedy powerhouse. Ben is the comedian who works at Chroma Pier, which is certainly the best, but the last remaining seaside variety show still going. Ben is one of the top performers at Covent Garden when you go and see street performers, and he has it down to an art. His pantos are incredible. I can't talk high enough of Ben, and what a generous and lovely guy. So as a massive thank you and a heartfelt great to have you involved in our project, Ben. Thanks for that.
And I look forward to meeting you at some point.
Oh yeah.
I've not met him.
He'll certainly come along and support. Do we have any other shout outs? Sue Pollard provided a couple of our jokes. Bless her. But she did that when she was drunk, so I'm not sure we can use them.
Or if she'll even remember giving them to us. So hey,
bless her.
Works either way.
Yes.
I think that's it for me.
That's it from me too. I do have a shout out for next time, but I'm going to save it to next time because I think it'll be more relevant after next week's video. Okay.
So as always, you can subscribe here. You can also visit our social media, which is over this way.
I'm guessing.
There is one other place you can find us now. For those magicians out there, if you go to magicdaily.co.uk, where you can get all of your magic news from. You can even post your own news and events, which is great. And all of the Pip and Paul videos are being posted up there as well, so you can watch them directly on the site from there.
As are some other magic podcasts, and
it's a great resource for magicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a magician, go take a look. magicdaily.co.uk.
And the great thing is, if it doesn't have something you want it to have, chuck it on.
You can post it yourself. Yeah.
In fact, we've got something happening with Magic Daily, which we'll probably talk about next week or the week after.
Okay.
Marvellous. I think that's it from me. So
quite a long one from us today, but I hope you'll agree that it was interesting. So until next time.
Until next. I just wanted to talk about feedback.
Go on in.
So there's a fashion in this about giving feedback to us personally or via email and not via Facebook, YouTube, or any of the comments in Pip and Paul. It would be really good if we could turn that round, just because every piece of feedback we've got, or certainly every piece of feedback I've got, has been really useful. Has started a dialogue between us or a new thinking point, and it'd be really good to have that in black and white in pixels on the page, so other supporters can join in that conversation, because it is about a conversation about how to do this. We've never put together a double act before, certainly like this. We're learning, and if anyone else has done it and they can help us, please get involved in that conversation. If you haven't, but you have some ideas, it'll not only help us, but it'll help future generations and future shows at least, even if the idea is something we can't use, it'll probably generate conversation.
Yeah.
So for me, that's really good. So
that's on YouTube, on Facebook, on Magic Daily. In fact, you can leave comments on there as well.
Yeah.
We will find them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do that, absolutely fine. Come and see us and give us your feedback that way.
And we'd love to hear from you. So until next time, it's goodbye from Pip.
It's goodbye from Paul. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye. Bye.